Welcome to the latest episode of Global Women Enrichment podcast. We're so happy to have you with us this month of March. And today we're going to be celebrating Women's History Month. And as we were looking into Women's History Month, we're like, why? Why Women's History Month? First of all, because we all believe that we should be celebrating women every day, not just 1 month.
That's right.
However, it was something that was started as actually a celebration of Women's History Day, then week, and eventually it became a month. And it became a month back in 1987 for us here in the U.S. And it really grew out of looking at women and looking at the contributions that they've made to our culture over the years. And there have been so many fascinating women in history. And whether it's someone like Rosa Parks or it's Susan B. Anthony or really just everyday women that are in our lives and the contributions they make to our personal culture. And the interesting thing, I didn't know this until I was researching it, is that there is a theme every year for Women's History Month.
Oh.
And the theme for 2022 is women providing healing and promoting hope.
Oh, wow.
And what I want to share with you viewers is we'd love to have you continue our journey with us in the next few weeks because we're going to get into promoting healing. We're going to get into hope. So there's so much to unfold in Women's History Month that we can't just do it in one episode. We're going to do it in several. So thanks for joining us for this. And as I think of Women's History Month, I'd love to start just kind of in the thought process of the women in our own lives that are part of our personal history, that have contributed to the culture that we are a part of. And when I think about that and I consider my own family, there are such strong women that have come before me in my family and that are there today. And strong from the perspective of, in my family, they had to deal with Castro coming into power and communism and how are they going to keep their family together and how are they going to immigrate here and getting here and having nothing to start with and building really just a generation of family members that were strong and then pass that on to us. And when I think of how far we've come and what they've helped accomplish in our culture, when I think of, my mom got here with literally the clothes on her back and where I am today and what these strong women have done and sacrificed to bring the prosperity that I get to live in is amazing. What about the women in your lives?
I mean, I'm so glad you mentioned that about focusing on the women in your life, because a lot of times when we want to celebrate women, and we want to talk about the greatness of women and all that they have accomplished, we tend to forget the women that are right before us. We focus on the celebrities, okay? And it's time we start acknowledging and appreciating the regular women or parents or siblings, or aunties, okay? Or school teachers who are so underappreciated, So I'm so glad that you said that. Of course, my mom would be my hero. She's, to me, woman of all women. Is that the correct way to say it? And because she sacrificed for her family, for her children. She stayed home. And stay-at-home moms, sometimes I look down on instead of look up to. They make the sacrifice. It's a choice that they make to stay home and take care of families. I could not do that. Yeah. I don't have it in me to just to have been a stay-at-home mom, but I have to appreciate and respect those women who made that sacrifice for their children and totally was part of their children upbringing. It makes a big difference.
Absolutely.
You know, so for Women's Month, I'm going to give a shout out to all the women, all of those women out there who may feel that they're forgotten. You are not forgotten. I want to let you know that you're appreciated, you're respected, and you are valuable. Okay? So shout out to you, all those of you who take the time to stay home. Some of you do homeschooling. Some of you, you are there always to take your kids to the doctor, you know, whether or not they get a little, whatever, they get a sprained ankle, a cut finger, to wipe away their boo-boos,
Yes.
as we say. We want Global Women want to let you know that you are appreciated and respected and admired. You are somebody's hero. So continue to do the good work that you are doing.
On that note, I'd like to also extend our respect or admiration to those of you who are doing everything that Venoria just said, in addition to going out and trying to get the money to provide for that home. All our single moms who are trying to do that, sometimes leaving your kids at home while you go to work, trusting that an older sibling will be the one to look out, or a friend or a neighbor or a family member. And I think we really need to applaud our women who are working hard outside the home and still come into the home and do everything, the cooking, the
Yes.
cleaning, the washing, the ironing, the mentoring, taking your kids to whatever function, being the taxi driver, being the laundromat, being everything, and still going out and trying to do that job outside in the corporate world and juggling all these roles. And as we're sharing, I'm thinking of all the women from I was a child until now that have influenced my life. Like you
Yes.
said, Venora, my mom is my hero. She's my role model. She was dynamite. She was at home and she worked as a nurse. And I don't know, she was always home to me, but I know she worked as a nurse. She was a great role model to me as a nurse, hence I'm a nurse. And from there, it's my Sunday school teachers, the women. It's Miss Stevens and Mrs. Smart and Lister Bell, these people who sowed into my life spiritually and made me feel like I was special in God's creation because I was given projects to do and I excelled at them. If I had to do drama or speech at Christmas. And by the time I was 13, I was teaching Sunday school because of the people who led me and taught me so that I could now tell the stories to little children because I listened.
Yes.
And then there was the one who led me to the Lord, Mrs. Campbell, And I think of all my educators through the years, especially through high school. I think of my math teacher because math was just so hard for me, And then I think of the ones in college who opened doors when I thought doors were closed. Dr. Vicky Schoolcraft, Dr. Papes, people who God just seemed to have put right in my path at the right time to open the right doors, So when you think of the journey of how we connected,
Right.
how we connected as sisters and as women, and why we're doing what we're doing through Global Women Enrichment, it's powerful. And as Venoria says, we celebrate the celebrities. The first one that comes to my mind is the Michelle Obamas of the world and the Oprah Winfreys of the world. We celebrate those, we celebrate so many others, but we celebrate our moms, our sisters, our aunts. We say thank you to all of them for influencing our lives so we can be sitting here today.
Yeah.
We stand on big shoulders.
Well, I'm so glad you say that because that's where I wanted to take it next is the journey. And we do stand on big shoulders. And as we are honoring women in history and we think of the ability for the three of us to actually decide to work outside of the home and have the opportunity to do that. And the women that came before us and really had to break through and had to really come to a place where they paved the way for us to be able to enter the whether it's the corporate world or the healthcare world, and really be able to have positions where we do have a voice, where we also can embrace who we are, right? So often if we look back in history to the women that came first, some of them were trying to figure out, how do I even dress? Do I need to dress like a man? Do I need to act like a man?
Yeah.
And we can't judge that, because they were trying to do and open doors for all of us. So sometimes there are women that say, oh, but why did they do that? Well, because they had to. And because they did, we get to be here.
That's right.
Doing what we're doing. And so I think it's so important to honor the women that have come before us, that have paved the way to allow us the opportunity to say, I want to go for that job and get it. And the opportunity to say, I want to own my voice in the job space in which I'm doing, and not just be subordinate to somebody else, and have the opportunity to do that. So I want to honor all of the women that have come before us and have made it possible for us to even be sitting here and having this podcast today.
Yep, absolutely. There's something else I want to bring up, Laura. We're talking about all of this, about women and what they have done to accomplish what they have accomplished and to propel us to where we are today.
Yes.
But let us also pause and consider that every single one of us exists because a woman carried us
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
in the womb.
Yes.
It has always been fascinating, humbling, glorious to me that Creator God would partner with me to carry on the species. That the greatest king, the cruelest dictator, the humblest beggar, the homeless person could not be here without a woman carrying that precious baby within her womb, making a decision not to terminate that pregnancy,
Yes.
maybe not even having the opportunity or the choice.
Right.
And without the female of the species, and if you think about it, every species, there would be no perpetuation of that species. To me, that is the most sacred privilege as a woman, is to be able to partner with God to create human life that He ordained for His glory. That just blows my mind.
It is a powerful
It
thing.
is.
And I never knew love until I gave birth. I mean, real love, the depth of a mother's love until you experience it for yourself. And I remember when I got my firstborn, I had to literally call my mom and tell her how much I love her. Because there's no joy like giving birth. You bring in another life into this world and you're responsible for that person. And then when you think on your mother, you are the reason, she is the reason why you are here and you're able to do that.
Well, I want to add to that because I have a few women in my friend group that chose to be the mother to someone else's child. And another woman brought these children into this beautiful world and weren't able to care for them. And these women selflessly took these children on and have mothered them to the, you would never be able to tell that they weren't their biological children. So honoring all mothers, whether you were able to bear the child yourself or you took on the wonderful role of mother with somebody else's child. It's so beautiful. And a mother's love.
It's
It's
none
just
like it.
it's just unbelievable. And I think about also another friend of mine who didn't have her mother's love. And yet she found so many other mothers to mother her and to raise her. And I'm in awe of women. I'm in awe of what women
Can do.
I'm in awe of what women do to bring life to this world, to continue to foster that life and help us grow. And I'm just in awe, almost speechless.
Yes.
At what women really can do.
Yeah. We're unstoppable.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's just an amazing thing. Shout out to all women, regardless of who you are, regardless of your color, your race, your nationality, your social status. It doesn't matter. You are a beautiful person, and we want to encourage you. What we always say: to be empowered, encouraged,
And
and
enriched.
enriched.
So we want to thank you for joining us, and we'd love for you to share with us in the chat, reach out to us, and let us know about the wonderful women in your life. And who else in history do you think is a magnificent woman? We'd love to know, because we'll be talking about women again. And we hope that you continue to join us as we embrace this Women's History Month with providing healing and promoting hope. Please visit us at gwenrichment.com. See you soon.